And I mean, Jack is on the ball. I understand waiting for makeup on this episode. Kit Drew better step up his game.
I will get cat ears. Motherfucker, don't you even tempt me.
You know,
it's going to happen.
You've been threatening that for a couple of months, and we still haven't seen any cat ears. So I'm pressing that X button. I'm doubting that you'd ever have to step up.
You know what? I'm doing it now. That's because you said I'm not going to, so now I have to. I have no choice.
I'll believe it when I see it. You never do it.
Didn't you wear cat ears on the last episode, Crystal? Luna? No.
I don't think so. Then again, it was what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah, June 17th, 2018.
Oh my gosh.
So just about 5 years ago.
Almost 5 years, yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I think it was episode 35, according to what you said.
I don't know. Where's my screenshot? Yes, episode 35. Yes, we're talking about, let's see, first podcast on the docket tonight. We have government-run gold depository, copywriting, possibly ending memes in the EU, pizza and potholes. I think we were talking about Domino's doing potholes.
Yep.
Housing taxes, Social Security, Medicare going bust, and Seattle's homeless tax.
Yeah.
Oh, so Medicare was in the news back then for going bankrupt too.
It's always going bankrupt. Like Medicare going bankrupt is right up there with like climate change and gun control.
Yeah.
It's an immigration. It's a talking point. It's absolutely a talking point. It's insolvent, but the whole thing is insolvent anyway. So
don't you remember Al Gore's whole? Let me tell you about a friend of mine. Her name is Etta Munson. She's a 93-year-old widow living on Social Security in Sparta, Tennessee.
My woman never aged. But
Al Gore still wore roller ass out.
Yes, yeah. She's been dead for 3 years, and he's like, let me tell you about a friend of mine.
if she's been dead for 3 years, he's got her vote.
He definitely does.
That's fair.
Hello. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Anarchy Among Friends Roundtable Discussion. Before we get started, let me first remind you that we are covered by the BIPCOT No Government License, which allows for the use and the reuse of this podcast by anyone and everyone except for government and the bludgies thereof. You can learn more about that at bipcot.org. That's BIPCOT.org. We're also covered by Brandenburg v. Ohio 1969, which ruled that the government cannot punish inflammatory speech unless that speech is, quote, directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action. Therefore, everything said here on Anarchy Among Friends Roundtable Discussion is entirely...
That got away from me at the end there. What happened there?
You were doing great right up until you hit that brick wall.
I hit one of those potholes, man. Entirely hypothetical. I think this is episode 2. What did I say it was? What's that? 216. 216. And we have my best friend, Miss Luna from from Anarchist Beauties.
Hi.
She's hanging out with us for a little bit tonight. Not for the whole night, probably. We'll see if we can make her stick around. We'll see.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm old. It's been a long 5 years since the last show.
You've been sitting there for 5 years.
Oh, totally.
Just waiting to be back on the show. It is that good. The experience.
It was that good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, Jack. I say kiddos. I'm the elder statesman. I'm allowed to use words like kiddos. Did I use the word kiddos?
I really am not that far behind you, Jason.
But you'll never catch up to me, will you?
Not unless you beat me to the hole.
Fucking youngster. So let's see.
This is definitely a nice change of pace versus working on a goddamn truck all weekend.
What were you doing? You were doing
We replaced the entire power steering system on an Explorer.
Ew.
Why?
Because the rack and pinion decided to split in the pressure chamber.
I ever tell you the story about how we bent the frame on a Ford Explorer?
No, but I'd love to hear it sometime.
96 '95 Ford Explorer, primer gray, 4-wheel drive, and we were in this spot up in Butte County. It was essentially called the Mud Pits, but it was like a state designated off-road area. And we got down in this wash and got to where the mud was too deep. We couldn't keep going. So the only way out was to like go up the side of the wash. And we tried to go up it and we couldn't go all the way up it. So we back down, and my brother's like, "How do we do this?" I said, "Just fucking floor it. Just floor it." And so we
full send.
And it went up, and the front tires came over the edge, and it high centered on the middle of the frame. And the back door, when we got out of it, the back door at the top had about a 2-inch gap. Like we bit the frame that much out of place. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little. I don't know if that's gonna buff out.
Man, I thought it was bad when we did that with a Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well,
see,
I don't have those kinds of problems with my car, so
That's
That's
'cause your
because
car-
you
your-
wouldn't take your car off road.
Your car's allergic to mud. That's fancy.
Well, yeah, but no, I'm just saying, like, I don't have to replace an entire power steering system because I have a nice car now.
Yeah. New car, new hat, new
ego.
watch. Is that what it was? No, new
No,
necklace.
I've had-
That's right.
Yeah, my new guillotine blade necklace.
Yeah, he's in a midlife crisis.
That was a choker not that long ago.
It was not a choker. All right, so the other one was pretty much a choker because I didn't pay attention to the length of chain I ordered. I'll give you that, but
Chokers and cat ears. You got something you want to tell us?
Don't make him ooh again, please.
I will.
We ooh-wooed like the whole last episode. It was terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bad.
That is the quality content that people tune into us for. I'll have you know.
Not according to the numbers, they don't.
But we had fun, so what the heck?
That's all that matters to me. So you don't have much time, so let's just get into it. Tell us, what is Anarchist Beauties and why are you here?
Anarchist Beauties was founded in 2016. Originally, it started off as a meme page, and it was this entire concept that we were memeing pretty girls to get people's attention to learn about anarchism. You see a pretty girl, you're going to stop, you're going to read whatever's on the page. So it kind of started with that idea, and I really didn't expect anything to come of it. It was just for fun. Well, over the last several years, it's grown and grown and grown, and now we're at almost 60,000 followers. We've actually only got about 400 followers to go, and we'll break that 60K mark. I brought on a bunch of new women to the admin team, a lot of wonderful women, such as like Amanda Rose, Lily,
Amanda Rochettes,
yeah,
Larkin's wife.
Rockwitz, yep.
Yeah.
And so she's on there with us. I still have Lexi, one of my original admins, who's been with me since the get-go. We decided to shift gears. We are no longer going to be just a meme page. We recorded our first podcast yesterday. So we're pretty excited about that. And it's an introduction to all of the beauties who run Anarchist Beauties.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's about a dozen of us now. So
Like herding cats, huh?
yeah, actually, it's such a peaceful environment. Like, we never have any kind of arguments or anything else. It's smooth going, which is funny because we do all have very different philosophies. But we all agree on the general basis of, let me close that there. Sorry. We all agree on the general basis of what anarchism is, which is voluntary consent. It is do unto others. It is don't hurt people and don't touch their stuff. So we all agree on that. One of the other beautiful women that I brought on recently was Brittany from Anarcho MILF. We're very excited to have her too.
Yeah, I was just going to make that comment. I see Sheller asked about her.
And so we've got a really fantastic group of women. This first podcast is going to be an introduction to all of the women, as well as our various viewpoints, our various philosophies. Me specifically, and I'm only speaking for myself, I'm not speaking on behalf of them because, like I said, we all do have various viewpoints. Um, I play a trad wife, stay at home mom, gentle parenting type of anarchist. So, um,
It's why
most,
we vibe.
yeah. So mostly what I bring to the table is my knowledge with that and my passion for changing the future. And by changing the future, it's by raising the future. And that begins with teaching our children about voluntarism. And the best way to do that is by allowing them the same respect that we give other adults. So they learn it by us showing them. That's my big thing.
Yeah, and you do homeschool.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
Right,
it's homeschool / unschool. So it's because of where we live, we're in a very highly regulated area. So there's only so much that I can technically do. But for the most part, we do unschool our kids, and they learn phenomenally on their own. Children only need kind of basic guidance, and they will thrive. And all you have to do is give them the tools, and they'll get there.
Yeah, like with Tia, with your youngest, who's just absolutely phenomenally intelligent.
Yes,
and creative.
Yeah,
and compassionate and empathetic. I mean, you send me videos all the time, and you post some of the videos. Yeah. But just like this girl is just so intelligent that it blows me away, and that is a result of allowing her to grow at her own pace, to learn at her own pace, to the compassionate parenting.
Yes.
Right, taking her time. You're not making her sit down for 6 hours and read a book and doing all this other stuff. Like, learning is playing.
Yes. Children learn through play.
Incredible.
Big time.
Yeah.
And it's not even just the little ones, like the big ones. If you make learning fun, they're never going to stop learning. They're going to keep going for it.
Yeah. So what's coming? What's ahead on the podcast? I know you had a list that you showed me before.
Yeah. So after we release this first episode of our introduction to our girls, we're going to have a couple of short videos after that for a couple of our girls who couldn't make it to the call. And then our second episode is going to be the crypto girls in privacy. The privacy. I will reword that.
I mean, that's a different kind of podcast
yes.
at that point.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to be discussing privacy cryptos. And we're not going to get into the techie side of it because Lord knows there's enough of that.
You don't want to explain Z-Snark?
No, I don't. I would rather discuss why it's important and why it's needed and shed a little bit of light on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring in other women from other popular privacy coins such as Darrow and Monero. And we're going to sit down and we're going to explain it in a way that even a normie would understand. So like I said, I don't want to get into the technology of it. I don't want to go near it with a 10-foot pole. I just want to explain why it's important and why we have these options. And this is not to say that I don't like gold or silver, because I do. But
I think everyone likes gold.
Yeah. But after that, I think the podcast we decided that was going to be coming after that is possibly going to be on all the various voluntarist type charities. So there's actually a ton of them. We are going to focus on just a couple of them and shed some light on what the good that voluntarists are doing in the community, because it's not really talked about very often, and it should be. Following
reference to VIA, right?
Yep, voluntarism in action. Yep, and then the gentleman who runs Liberty Memes, he actually runs a huge charity where they are funding wheelchair vans. So they are going to be. I already invited him. He is game on to come on the podcast and talk about it. I'm very excited for that one. Lily is also going to join us on that one and talk about the orphanage down in Acapulco. So I'm very excited for that episode too. And then after that, we're going to have all kinds of goodies like homesteading and just we're going all out. So, and something else I wanted to talk about too that's exciting that's coming to Anarchist Beauties is that I'm currently building the website for it. This website will have blogs and vlogs. It'll also have all different genres. So we're talking from liberty to entrepreneurship to homemaking and recipes, gentle parenting, homesteading, philosophy. We're going to have all these different genres. We're also going to have a marketplace on there, which will list every single anarchist business that comes to us. So all you got to do is scroll through it and you can click on a link and it'll take you to that person's website so that we can support each other. And also, we are going to have a teens corner for teens. So it's going to be blogs written by teens for teens. And we will also offer a kids corner kind of thing that will have book suggestions. It will also have printables. Sorry?
Little twins.
Yeah. So it'll have printables, arts and crafts, various things for the littles to do too. So we're kind of just covering all the different bases and kind of outstretching, and it's definitely going to be directed more for women, but absolutely not only for women.
And where can people find that? What are the let's get some links out there.
The website is going to be theanarchistbeauties.com, but it's not even put together yet. So yeah. You can find us on YouTube at The Anarchist Beauties. You can also find us on Odyssey at the same. It's at The Anarchist Beauties. On Twitter, you can find us at Anarchist BEAUT, the number one. Yeah. And on Facebook, of course, Anarchist Beauties. And I've been posting an image where it has all of our social medias on it. So if you just go to our Facebook or our Twitter, you can find it on there and you'll be able to find us all on all these other socials.
Yeah, we have those scrolling at the bottom and they are linked on.
Oh, you're fantastic.
I'm on top of this. You knew I was going to do you right. Come on now.
Well, thank
There's
you.
a reason we bill ourselves as the most professional.
We are, in fact, the most professional podcast that you will ever see.
Yes.
Well, I'll say the most fun.
So,
fair enough.
So Jack had a question. Jack runs Made in Anarchy. You know Jack.
Yeah.
He wants to know how do you keep from getting throttled on the Facebook reach? Like how do you keep building? Like because you're constantly building.
Yes.
Right on the Facebook page, it's constantly growing. It's insane how fast this page is growing. Because like it took Wolf a decade to get to that level, to get to that many and then they deleted us.
Well,
yeah.
it helps.
I'm kind of worried it's coming
to us.
us
For radio.
Wow, but I mean, yeah. What do you? I mean, I know you're literally strictly a meme page, but you do share some links on occasion and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've actually been doing a lot of studying on SEO because in my personal life, yes, I'm 99% a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also a freelance personal assistant, so I do a lot of SEO work and stuff too. So I found with certain algorithms, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, you can't cheat the algorithm. It's AI. You cannot cheat it. You have to find a way to work with it. So on Facebook specifically, unfortunately, you just can't. It does not like links at all. So if you want to do a link, you have to do some kind of meme and then just put link in comments and stick your link in the comments. I also found you really don't want to use hashtags. You could use like maybe one or well then
thanks Shelley. I appreciate that.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
look at all of us and
so hashtags, that's where I was at. So originally I was like, okay, well, maybe if I use certain hashtags, they'll work better. No, don't use any hashtags on Facebook. You could use them on Twitter or other platforms. Don't use them on Facebook at all. So honestly, and the other thing is when you're posting memes and somebody clicks a like button and they aren't already following your page, you can click on your reactions and go down through and you can invite everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been doing that and that's been boosting us through the roof. So that's a really great option too.
Jack. My hashtags have me labeled as quote terrorist networking.
I mean,
you're in the right place here.
Yeah.
just not over there.
Yeah.
No.
But
That's a lot of yikes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all have that in somewhere on our pages.
Well,
we've all lost our Facebook page at some point. We all have lost our Facebook accounts. We've all lost our Twitters.
Yeah, the night of the silent birds, when we all got nuked on Twitter simultaneously. Well, and Dave, me too. Dave, the ATF knows who you are specifically. Like, I just want to point out.
To be fair, Andrew, the ATF knows who he is. I guarantee you they're well aware of us.
Well, yeah, they visit us occasionally when we go to the gun range.
I'm
That's
just
true.
a
That was
nice,
funny.
innocent guy over here. I don't know why
I
That's
was
me.
there tonight. I didn't see anybody.
I forgot what else I was going to ask. I had like two more questions in my head, and I just completely forgot what they were. Which is on par with the most professional podcast.
Oh, absolutely. We don't pre-show anything.
Nope.
No,
That would spoil the fun.
no.
joy of
Memes,
discovery.
hashtags, reach.
It's funny because every week Jason will send us the list of articles we're going to cover, except for one. Nobody looks at them. We just wait for Jason to read them to us on air.
They're all surprise articles, if we're honest.
That was the website. The website you mentioned, blogs and things like that. Is this going to be only for the beauties, or are you going to be able to have reader submitted articles? Things like that.
Definitely going to do reader submitted also. I have a friend of mine who she has a homestead that she's built from scratch and she's still building it and she's working on writing a book. I'm not going to drop her name or anything else because I'll let her do that. But she's going to be one of our blog writers and I'm definitely looking forward to it. So we will definitely, have guest posts and link swaps. Like I would love other people who are doing blogs and have websites. I would love to swap links and all of that too. So it's a community thing. It's not just for beauties. I did this because like I said, it is more focused on women, but it's because I wanted more women in the movement and I wanted to see women come together and I wanted them to see, hey, we're all here. Hi.
Which is needed.
Yes.
Right.
Very
But
much
like
so.
it's like one of the biggest issues that especially females will especially talk about with the libertarian anarchist movement is that so many of the guys are just so fucking creepy. They're so creepy. Like they either have they're on the spectrum somewhere, Asperger's or autism, and they're either creepy or they're just absolute like testosterone overload, right?
Yeah.
And
we were actually laughing
them off.
about Andrew Tate the other day on our call. We were talking about Andrew Tate. It's like, oh man.
There's a perfect example. There's an absolute perfect example.
Yes,
But
definitely.
I mean, I hate to use the term safe space, but that's essentially what you're trying to create, right? Maybe not necessarily safe space, but a landing spot.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
a place where they can go, where they can read, where they can submit pieces, where they can learn without being submitted to the creep.
Yeah. Well, it's that, but it's also I think a lot of women in the movement needed a sense of community. I know I did. I'm not. I can only speak for myself, but the sense of community that I've gotten from connecting with these other women, it's very lonely when it's very lonely being an anarchist. It's even more lonely being a female anarchist. So
well, I mean, the movement's a little bit of a sausage fest. Let's be honest. It's
easily 10 to 1. Easily 10 to 1.
yeah, it's yeah.
I would actually stretch that out a bit more. I would say probably closer to 20 to 1, but that might just be in my area.
I know the women definitely just needed some support. So that's what we're trying to do.
Jesus. All right, hold on, Dave. Hold on. Let me share that one. Oh yeah. Anarchists and libertarians in the media unfortunately look like you hit random on the Sims maker.
I wish I could argue with that.
I don't think you can.
You can't.
Like, I wish I could be like,
not wrong.
that's not fair, but that's fair.
No,
yeah,
it's fair. It's accurate.
I mean, look at the usual mugs on this podcast. I mean, it's
Right? Honestly, our camera cover screens when we walk away from the camera for a minute probably look better than the average, when everybody's here. See, now everybody just went blind. I showed back up.
Yeah. Jack says, has the individualism driven you to seek and develop healthy communities relationships? That might be a loaded question.
Yeah, just a little.
Like,
can you ask him to reword that?
Okay. Has your journey through libertarian anarchism, through your spiritualism, has that driven you to seek healthy communities and healthy relationships?
Yes, definitely.
Right? I can attest. Crystal and I have known each other for 8 years, 9 years, maybe somewhere in there. Right. You are my best friend. We that's public knowledge. But from where you were to where you are now, like now you would just grab old you and just hug you until until old you stopped crying.
Pretty much. So one of the girls on Anarchist Beauties, her name is Alexis, and she's known me about as long as you have. There used to be a Facebook group that was called Anarcho-Debatism. This was where, I started.
I think I remember that group.
Oh my God, it was such a dumpster fire.
I remember that group, and I definitely remember it being a flaming dumpster fire.
Yes.
The floating dumpster gif of where it's floating down the highway. That sounds...
No, man, it was worse than that. Like, if you filled a dumpster with thermite and then ignited it, that's the kind of dumpster fire this thing was. It was just a hellscape with no hope.
Yeah. So when I started my anarchist journey back in 2014 during the Obama era, but it was shortly after this that I discovered anarcho-debatism. And this is where I can gauge my growth, is that I used to go in there and I used to torment the hell out of the ANCOMs and the ANSOMs. Like the socialists. There was one girl specifically, her name was Meg, and I used to tell her, just shut up, Meg, all the time. She was a socialist.
Shut up, Meg.
So all these years later,
I think, who cares?
So
you guys always act like you're better than me.
We are
just
better than
just the rock cuts in. It doesn't matter what you think.
So all these years later now, I actually feel really guilty that I picked on her so much. She was a socialist, but perhaps
they're not real people. It's fine.
My oldest sister is a socialist. I understand that conundrum.
Oh,
but that part of me that's healed and grown, though, it's kind of like, okay, maybe she just didn't understand, or maybe that's just where her life path took her or something, whatever, as long as it doesn't affect me in my life. So as far as growth goes, definitely being in anarchism and learning about individualism and just learning about all these other people and being in the community has caused so much growth. Like you can even look into the podcast where we recorded about 5 years ago, and I'm sure you could definitely see the difference between who I was then and who I am now.
Yeah,
There's
that was
massive.
massive. That was episode 35 for those that are listening. Episode 35. That was June 17th, 2018.
Yeah.
So
Holy
3 months.
cow.
3 months shy of what was that? 5 years.
Yeah.
Have we really been on air that long? Man.
Yeah.
I think
What's
the first
happening
one I
at your
was on
house,
was-
Josh?
Huh?
What's happening at your house?
He's having a party.
The roommate's parents came over to check out the house that they're
okay.
staying at. So,
Yeah.
so they're, yeah.
I was gonna say,
Sorry.
I think the first one I popped on was back
It's ambiance.
in the before we hit 100, and we were talking
Right.
about
So that
stuff going on in Venezuela. So yeah, it's been a while.
right. So if that's episode 35, then we were on the air for a year and change already, because we used to record every other week, and there were weeks that we skipped. So yeah, that was a long time ago.
We were even more professional back then.
No. No. I think that episode actually had Mark on it too.
I think it did.
Yeah, Mark and his beard scratching the microphone.
Yeah, the constant. Oh,
I think one of Andrew's like first few episodes, Mark chimed in, and he was driving his truck, like on the freeway, 60 miles an hour, the window down. He couldn't hear us at all. He was just vibing.
yeah, every so often, like we'd be talking, and then he'd unmute his mic, and you'd get and maybe a word, and then he'd come and he'd mute again, and we'd be like, "Thanks for that, that was helpful, bud." And then
No, it was terrible.
That sounds like
almost as bad
when
as
Chris
that
was
day.
over working on his car.
I was
And all
gonna
we're
say
doing
almost
is
as bad as that night.
yeah,
the hell are you doing?
and then it was quiet, and then thunk. Oops, shit.
That wasn't supposed to do that.
his camera wasn't even on, so we had no idea what had happened. We just hear
No.
bang. Oops, shit.
Good times. Since you're on limited time, you want to get into an article with us?
Sure. Let me pull one up here.
I want to talk, since you're here, I want to talk about Douglas Mackey.
Okay.
He's not getting enough coverage, especially in our circles. I don't think he's getting enough coverage. The guy is literally being prosecuted for a meme.
Yes, I have heard of this. Sorry, I was pulling it up on my phone.
No,
Sorry.
but we have two articles on. We have a recent article which gives a lot of background, and then we have what is that? A post-millennial article where it's more updated, but
Massive overreach.
it's a huge overreach, right? Okay, Jack says, as an unschooling mom, what's your average school day look like? Let's get that real quick.
Okay. So my average school day looks like I let the kids wake up when they want to wake up as compared to waking them up. Who likes to wake up to an alarm? Really? So they wake up, and as soon as she gets up in the morning, she kind of does her normal stretches and kind of a yoga routine, and she does a little bit of walking, and then she'll make herself some breakfast. And from there, we use Me Academy, which is an online resource, and that's kind of our structure for the day. That only takes her about 3 hours to get through. This has like math, science, history, just all the basics. It only takes her about 3 hours. When she's finished with that, I tell her, you can do whatever you want for the next 4 hours as long as you're learning. And she will either watch a documentary or she'll read, or if it's nice out, we'll go outside, we'll go for a walk, or we'll go to one of the local stores. I actually have a nice coffee shop here around the corner that we go to all the time. Once the warmer weather is here, right now it is freezing, even though it is March. Like, winter just will not go away.
It's been nice around here lately. I think the last week we've been in the 40s.
Mhm.
I saw, what is, how do you spell it? It's a Me Academy. What is it?
Yep. MI Academy, ACADEMY.co. So it's
Okay.
just .co. Yeah.
Okay.
And that one is fantastic. The kids can talk to each other on there. They can also upload blog posts where they teach kids about other things that they do, like they can teach them how to cook or various arts and crafts. And the kids really work together a lot in that. Another thing is that they can write newsletters. They contribute articles to a newsletter. There's all kinds of art contests. There's also, she has a mock business on there. So she puts all of her drawings in this mock business and she makes money for it. And she can buy things for her. She has a castle in hers. She can buy things for her castle. I know, so appropriate for my children, right?
That's fantastic.
But yeah, so it's like I said, she only spends about 3 hours a day doing that. And it's like I said, this is kind of our really basic structure that we build on, is that. And then the rest of the afternoon, she kind of has free range. The only thing that I say is as long as you are learning something. And then at the end of each quarter, I tell her, pick a topic and teach me about it. So she'll either have a report ready or she will do some kind of project where she will teach me about something. This last time, she actually did a whole huge report on Bob Marley, which was fantastic because there was so much that I didn't even know about Bob Marley.
Nice.
And he was an awesome one for her to do it on. So this has really caused her to be a very independent and critical thinker because I've given her the room to be like, here, figure it out. And then tell me, teach me, show me. So it's awesome. It's awesome watching your children flourish and bloom and grow. And like I said, as being unschoolers, the learning never stops. It's not like it's you go and you sit in a classroom for 8 hours and you're stuck there in this cubicle hell. Like, no, this is, you learn by living life and you learn by getting out there and doing things. And once she turns 14, she's 13 this year. Once she turns 14, she can actually volunteer at one of the local farms. And so that's something that's planned for her in the very near future. So she's pretty excited.
Dave asks how much that cost, that program.
The program?
Yeah.
Shoot, I can't even remember. It's not that expensive though. It's like $100 for the year and it covers the whole year. And then you have, they send you weekly reports. You can go in and you can check all the reports. You can see how they're doing. And like I said, in our state, because they are so regulatory, we're actually a very ridiculous amount of regulations on homeschooling in my state.
It's that way where I'm at too, because we did during the COVID year we did homeschooling, and then we were told that the curriculum that we'd selected was not valid for the state. Like the state did not approve it. So we're like,
I think they live maybe near each other.
Because we were using, like, some of the guys in there was a time for learning is what we were using.
Yeah,
and that's
we were
not,
using that.
Yeah, and they said that wasn't valid in this state. It's like, but she's already 2 years ahead of everybody around her.
Right.
Welcome to Wisconsin. Yay.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's
especially under
crazy.
Tony the Tyrant.
Tony the Tyrant, yeah.
Yeah, we were using time for learning for a while, but we had to, according to our state, we had to supplement with it. Like it was okay to use it, but we had to put more with it. So I buy workbooks every year just to keep them. So if she wants to sit and do the workbooks, she can. I encourage her to do them. But if she's finding other means of learning, then I'm going to be supportive of that.
Yeah, so, she's a big library hound, right?
Yes, we up until I got sick, we were going to the library every week. I had to take a break off of that for a while because I was having some stomach and back stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
One thing with Chloe, I'm really happy about. She's at the library here in town at least 3 nights a week.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's where I got my education is because I dropped out at 16. I just stopped going because I hated school. I hated school.
I got my GED when I was I took it when I was 15, and for my birthday they gave me my GED.
Yeah, like,
were like, here, you want
I dropped out at 16 and started working 40 hours a week at McDonald's. And then when I wasn't at McDonald's, I was at the public library because the home life just sucked. But the public library is where I got my education. Like I learned more in 4 or 5 months at the public library than I learned in 10 years of school.
Yeah. And with the internet now, I mean, you have unlimited knowledge.
I had an email at that time.
Yeah.
That was 1996.
Oh,
Jesus,
goodness.
you old fogey.
That was about the time I got my first email address.
Yeah,
Dude, I was 10.
I'm gonna kick you both out of this.
I was 11.
Stream.
I was 11. I still had my first email address then. I was
12. I didn't get my first email address till 1998 when I was a freshman.
Shit, I was actively using internet relay chats, IRC channels all the time at age 11.
This is elderly abuse, you guys. I'm sorry.
Wait. Y'all ready? In 1997, I was 8 years old. I had my first email address probably, I think when I was like 11. I had my first email address. It was like,
let me go get my cane real quick.
I'm gonna mute you all.
Hey man, no though, but like what you're saying with the internet, I mean, like there's the great courses. Well, Great Courses Plus is what Wondrium now. There's Wondrium out there. There's like
Magellan
amazing
is a good one.
documentaries. Yeah, Magellan, History Hit TV, which is one of my personal favorites. And
Khan Academy has been great too. Khan Academy has been one of our go-tos.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many resources out there. Even YouTube has so much stuff out there now. I mean, not this.
Okay,
like
so,
this is crap. But there's other things.
So funny. My favorite thing to learn history on now is TikTok.
Yeah.
Like,
dude,
Roman helmet guy is fantastic.
Yeah. Man, the whole reason I can monetize on TikTok is because of my history content. Like that's what got me so popular that I could monetize on it is just teaching history to people.
Everybody talks so much crap about TikTok, and it's like, it's the way you utilize it. It's like any other social media platform. It's ridiculous.
I love how the government claims that China is spying on you.
Oh, I know.
It should be banned.
It's like you are.
Really?
Exactly.
People that spy on
those
us
guys.
should be banned?
Yeah, those guys are spying on you. Only we're allowed to do that. Like,
that's like I always get into it. I used to argue with my wife because she loved to have the Alexas, the Amazon Alexas in the house. But then at the same time, she raised a valid point. We all carry around our own surveillance device every day, all day long. Yeah. What difference does it make if I have an Alexa in my house? If I'm going to say something I don't want them to hear, I'll unplug the damn thing.
Yeah. Although de-Googled phones are a thing. Just letting you know. They're an amazing thing.
I will neither confirm nor deny that I have one. But.
Is it LUA Publications, Liberty Under Attack? Shane sells those, and you can buy those with crypto.
Nice. Good to know.
Yes. Also, you can buy Ghost Pads, which are de-windowed laptops and touchpads.
Very nice.
And those are put together by Nima Vadati, who's an OG podcaster. With Michael.
Those are nice.
Fiends.
They're far superior to the black phones. I had a black phone, and the problem with black phones was that you couldn't actually use it unless you were talking to somebody who also had a black phone, which no one did. So,
okay, hold on. Okay, generational. I just mentioned Nima Vadin, Freedom Fiends. I was a big fan of Freedom Fiends. They had Jeremy Hengeller on. He was part of that podcast. Jeremy inspired us. We inspired Anarchist Beauties. There's 4 generations of podcasts there. You're welcome.
I don't know if you can say that we inspired them. They're social media reach is so far beyond ours. It's not even funny.
You have no idea how much her and I talk. I'm just saying.
So what you're saying is you inspired it. He had nothing to do with it.
I am
right, exactly.
I am a self-appointed honorary beauty.
A lot of my
you would have to be
Jason.
Honorary in your case, Jason.
Yes. How many? Yeah. Fuck yourself. How many of the memes how many of the memes I send you do you post?
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
I save them and I cycle them through, and I post. I try to only post about once an hour or so, because if you post more than that, algorithms go.
Yeah. No. There you go. There you guys heard it first. I am a honorary beauty.
That's the honorary. Yes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And purely title. Purely title.
It's like an honorary PhD. You might have a PhD, but it really means nothing.
See what I put up with? These are my brothers.
Hey man, none of us are even honorary, so you can look at it that way. Ain't nobody gonna risk putting beauty to this mug.
Maybe it was honorary, not honorary. Whichever. But
it could be French. I don't know. It's.
Let's jump into this article before she has to boot scoot. Okay. In the first of its kind case, the Justice Department is prosecuting an internet troll using a Reconstruction era law to claim a series of misleading social media memes were an attempt to, quote, deprive individuals of their constitutional right to vote.
I've read a whole bunch of stuff on this in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
God.
During the 2016 election season, Douglas Mackey was a prolific far-right Twitter user under the name Ricky Vaughn. Mackey frequently posted pro-Trump memes and commentary to his 58,000 followers. Not as many as Crystal has.
You're gonna get the feds at her house, man.
Yeah, they're gonna come at her now. What are you doing?
One MIT Media Lab analysis has claimed that he may have had a larger effect on the 2016 election than NBC News.
Well, that's because no one watches NBC News.
I was just gonna say.
He is a pro-Trump in 2016, pro-Trump. Who lost, and they said he had a larger effect on the election than NBC News.
I just want to point out that, like, my flatulence had more of an effect on the 2016 election than NBC because it was witnessed by more people.
Yeah.
No one watches NBC. Like.
Okay, hold on. Okay. At one point, he posted a series of images that seemed geared to trick Hillary Clinton supporters into thinking they could vote by text. Quote, avoid the line.
They're that stupid. They deserve it.
Yeah, quote, avoid the line. Vote from home. One of the images read against a Clinton-branded background. Quote, text Hillary to 59925. According to the Justice Department press release, at least 4,900 people texted the number before Election Day.
One, this does in fact show just how lazy Hillary Clinton supporters were. And
this would have worked so much better during the 2020 election, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
hold on. Give me one paragraph. Federal officials say this was a deliberate attempt to violate voters' constitutional rights. On January 27, 2021. This is after Trump has already left office. After, like, he affected the 2016 election, but they didn't charge him until after Trump left office. On January 27, 2021, they charged Mackey with conspiracy, quote, to injure, oppress, threaten, and intimidate one or more persons in the free exercise and enjoyment of a right and privilege secured to them by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, to wit, the right to vote.
I do not think those words mean what you think they mean.
Go
ahead and read that again, and then
Okay. They charged Mackey with conspiracy, quote, conspiracy, quote, to injure, oppress, threaten, and intimidate one or more persons in the free exercise and enjoyment of a right and privilege secured to them by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, to wit, the right to vote.
So you mean like the ATF perpetually does that with
no.
people?
If the government does it, it's fine. So,
The government and the media, they're allowed to do it.
Yeah. Their case rests on an 1870 law designed to prevent violent white supremacist mobs from preventing black citizens from voting. The Justice Department believes this is the first time an American has faced criminal charges for Twitter disinformation.
So,
for fuck's sake,
are they saying that only black voters were dumb enough to fall for that? Is that what their implication is?
4,900 people apparently texted
because
that number.
I feel like that in and of itself kind of speaks volumes, but
yes, they're using an 1870 this is post Civil War, 1870 Reconstruction era law, as it applies to a meme. They're saying that a meme posted on social media prevented people from voting.
But the law specifically says intimidation, threat, violence, that shit. Meme is none of that. No. And that specific meme saying, hey, text this to vote from home, that's not violence, threat, intimidation, or any of that.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I could see somehow being construed in this, and I could see the state trying to really push this, is because it was technically a call to action, it would not be covered under Brandenburg.
Right, but the thing is it doesn't actually meet the qualifications of the law, right? There was no intimidation or threat to harm or anything else. That even if it was intentional, willful misinformation, that law does not cover that. It never mentions it. So it still wouldn't fall under that law. It's still not punishable. And the reason that it's not mentioned in that law is because they were like, well, if you know what things are available for you to vote, then you shouldn't be able to be misled in how you vote. Like, you should be smart enough to figure that out, or you probably shouldn't be voting. Like, that's even in 1870, they understood that. So that's what boggles my mind here. There's literally nothing about this that's covered under that law at all. I mean, at all.
Yeah. No, and he's facing 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. That's the possible sentence. 10 years.
Can you imagine that guy sitting in a jail cell?
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
I know child molesters who are spending less than 10 years, and this guy is facing 10 years for a fucking meme.
Yep, that's actually something that's been a pretty hot button thing here in Wisconsin with the Supreme Court election. Is one of the justices in that particular race is very, very light on crime, actual crime. Where there was a case 3 years ago, I think it was, where somebody got caught in the act of first-degree sexual assault of a child under 10. And her sentencing guidelines were, I think it was 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, no, straight to the fucking bottom of the river.
There are rapists in the United States who have received less than a quarter of that sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Less than a
and then you've got Ross.
Sentence.
And then Ross got 200. Yeah.
That's some bullshit in itself. By the way, it's coming up to his birthday, I think. Either it just passed
It just passed.
Yeah.
That's sad.
What's his 8th or 9th in prison, something like that?
He said it was his 10th.
10th in prison? Yeah.
Yep.
All for making a website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave just said that he knows many child molesters, murderers, rapists, TV traffickers, etc., that don't get a year, let alone 10.
Yeah.
And he was a prison guard for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So
they let them go.
Yeah,
to
facing
reoffend.
10 years for a meme.
Yeah, but somebody makes a hurtful set of words, and 10 years is what they're looking at.
Wasn't even a hurtful set of words. He was, I mean, stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah. If you're dumb enough to be like, oh, this random Twitter account that has absolutely no connection to the government whatsoever has just declared that there's this new form of voting that I've never heard of, and you fall for that?
Yeah.
Like, you deserve to fall for that.
Especially pre-COVID.
Yeah. Like, no, dude, that's on you. That
I mean, could you imagine if
he'd have tried to pull that during the COVID years?
Yeah.
It would have been fucking hilarious for one, but still.
That would have been funny as hell for the 2020 election, because that would have worked.
It would have. That's what I'm saying.
Hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. And the more angry it made the government, the funnier it's going to be. So, like, just...
If he would have did that during the 2020 election, it would have been worth the 10 years risk.
I think I'd be. Are you kidding me? Like, if I had thought to pull that on the 2020 election, and I would have done it to both sides, like flat out, I would have done it to both sides because it's just that much funnier. They can give me 10 years, and I am going to laugh my way through that entire 10-year sentence and just be like, I am the king of memes. No one will ever top that.
You would have did it to both sides, and the LP still would have only got like maybe 5%.
somehow the Green Party wins and the LP still loses.
2016 was the only year where the Libertarian Party actually broke 2%, and it was Trump or Hillary.
You know why? Because look at who they fielded.
Gary Johnson.
Yeah.
They had an opportunity, a golden opportunity, and they squandered it with who is Aleppo. That right there. That's what happened. That is why the LP is a flaming freaking dumpster fire.
Yep. Okay. I got one for you. I got a quote for you. This is from Aaron Turr. He's an attorney at the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. Quote, the First Amendment presumptively protects all speech unless it falls into a specific, narrow, defined category established by the Supreme Court. And that First Amendment doesn't make a general exemption for false speech. There are certain types of false speech that are established exemptions to the First Amendment, such as defamation and fraud. He says that about, he referenced Mackey's memes as disinformation and fraud, or I'm sorry, defamation and fraud.
That's neither defamation nor fraud.
Yes.
Because at no point did he pretend for that to be official.
Yes.
He gave no indication.
He did not try to present himself as a member of the government or anything like that. He made a meme and just threw it out there in the wild.
Yeah.
Him making memes is no different than Mad TV or fucking Saturday Night Live using actual products and names of real people and stuff. This
is at best this falls under the satire clause. I mean,
I'm absolutely mind boggled too. Like, how did they even know he was the original creator of the meme?
Oh, because they have a government snitch who they won't identify in court because he's still working for the government.
Hashtag Ray Epps.
What was his name? Oh God, it was trending the other day. He goes by a handle. I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me eventually. But yeah, he's a snitch who's currently working for the FBI on several other cases regarding social media.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that anyone should figure out who this is. But what I am saying is that chances are it's one of your friends. Let's be honest.
And this is why we're all like, and
microchip.
you're a Fed, and you're a Fed, and you're a Fed.
Yeah. Everyone's a Fed.
The other guy's name is Microchip.
Well, Andrew literally was a Fed, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not anymore.
I'm just saying, how
to be fair, you and Andrew both were government employees.
Yeah. How do you get a Facebook page to 60,000 followers?
That's pretty sus. Now that you
That's
mention
pretty
it.
sus.
Yeah.
Just there's hold on. She says taxation is theft. She's good looking. She homeschools. She's anarchist.
Honeypot.
That's honeypot.
Honeypot. She's here so they can finally get a lock on all of us. That's what it is.
As a patch. But like a honeypot and have anarchist beauties across it.
It's, I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure it's like
they did get their start putting quotes and information over pictures of hot, beautiful women in bikinis.
Yes. Yes.
So
that was how we
clearly,
started.
Anarchist beauties, more like honeypot beauties. Let's be honest, you are all Feds. Every one of you.
Hey, do we get our badge of honor now that we've been accused of being Feds? I mean,
don't even tell me that those asses are not federally sponsored. I know better.
No, if you go in our comment section, we've got one post. It's either we're a Fed, we're a Republican, we're a conservative, or we're a lefty. My favorite one was that I was a Christian fascist. Christian fascist. Because I'm a trad wife. I believe in traditional values. Mm-hmm. However,
they call the people that are trad now. They call them granola Nazis.
The fuck is a granola
I have heard
Nazi?
that. I have heard that one.
That's the new one. It's a granola Nazi. So instead of being like a
that,
you know, a crunchy mom or whatever, you're a granola Nazi.
Oh,
that really
totally
applies.
Not a crunchy mom either.
that really definitely applies far more appropriately to like the people who would like send their farm fresh products to a food co-op. I'm just saying, like those are the granola Nazis.
I mean, you got chewy granola too. It's not crunchy.
Chewy.
Damn it.
Yeah, but you can't call them chewy Nazis because then it sounds like they're like some sort of nat sock that then also sells pet supplies. So
chewy Nazis, bunch of Wookiees. They're furries. That's
what a coincidence! Bunch of Wooks. What a coincidence! Granola Nazis. You see where I'm going with this? It all ties together. That's what
happens when we don't bathe.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna break out some push pins and red yarn pretty soon, and
and this is how quickly things fall off the rails around here.
Anarchist beauty to granola Nazi pipeline.
Have it all set up, and I'll be like, okay, bear with me. So then.
Oh, God.
Just a bunch of random pictures like the Dexter and the Moon Rocks on a wall. So this fast forward to the case, right? This is currently in trial. The Mackey is currently on trial. They had a couple of days already, but where was that quote? According to Rolling Stone magazine covered it. Fish, that's his lawyer, argued that people began texting the number only after the media outlets began covering the meme. Right, so before the media got a hold of the meme, before the media blew it up, nobody was paying attention to the meme.
No one saw it until the mass media started. So really, they're the purveyors of the misinformation and should be charged.
Yes. Assistant U.S. Attorney Turner Buford said, quote, "This wasn't about changing votes. This was about vaporizing votes, making them disappear. The number was real and set up to receive incoming messages. The release of these fake campaign ads was timed to flood the internet before Election Day."
I just want to point out, if we want to talk about erasing votes, media, and making them no longer exist,
or manufacturing new ones out of nowhere.
We can have a conversation about that, but you're not gonna like it.
Yes, it's ridiculous. Like, even when asked whether he thought voting via text is a valid way of voting, the Southern Poverty Law Center senior investigator said not at all. Duh.
Who the fuck cares who that left-wing socialist... My lawyer has advised me not to say anything further about the Southern Poverty Law Center.
They're experts. Come on now.
Experts that themselves are domestic terrorists.
They're about as big of experts on just about anything else as the ATF is on firearms technology.
Yes.
Oh, because we covered that, where the fact that like one of the go-to guys for the Southern Poverty Law Center has been arrested.
The lawyer, one of the lawyers.
Yeah. As part of a domestic terrorism sting. Like
the Atlanta Cop City attack. Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Which I'm not saying was necessarily out of line, but
Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969.
Right.
I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying that I understand it.
Is it getting to that time
coming from somebody who was kicked out of Georgia?
Yeah, I was kicked out of the state of Georgia. Yeah. So,
Crystal, is it getting onto that time, or do you have time for another article? You're muted.
Did I unmute?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. It's getting to be about that time, but Ryan just showed me something that I guess is a hot topic right now that just came up. Bill S-686, and it's called the Restrict Act. It's literally was like just coming out. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not yet.
Negative.
This is new.
Definitely should be talked about. It's a bill to authorize the Secretary of Commerce to review and prohibit certain transactions between persons in the United States and foreign adversaries for other purposes. Says it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it says I got National Review.
You got it. Okay. I had it on my phone there.
Let's see. Potential enforcement tool to address economic and national security concern posed by foreign information and communications technology. This is the one that would ban not only it would ban TikTok, but it would also go way beyond that. Concerned over potential threat posed by information and communication technology. Product services TikTok, the United States economic and national security, have been ruminating for some time now to tackle the potential threat. Bipartisan bill, okay. Restrict Act. The proposed legislation comes on the heels of this. It's a new guidelines by the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, like the Restrict Act, shows an increased attention to certain types of business transactions and business interests that implicate national security concerns as signal increased enforcement efforts relating to the same.
So basically, no more memes.
Let's see. Summary of the Restrict Act, primarily drafted, authorizes the Secretary of Commerce and the President to take appropriate measures against products or services or firms providing products or services that are owned or controlled by foreign adversaries.
Oh my God! Have you seen who introduced this and who the co-sponsors are?
No.
So Warner, Baldwin, Fisher, Manchin, Sullivan, Romney. That's just a few of them. You recognize the names as maybe people who you can't fucking trust.
Yeah, I just pulled up the National Law Review breakdown.
That's one I have.
Yeah, it's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's yes, that is going to be just so fucking fantastic, and they're going to pass it because it's bipartisan.
Yep. It'll be the next iteration of things that, like the Patriot Act.
Or the NDAA. Yep.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to briefly read through it.
No.
That's what. You know what? We'll all get to the gulag sooner than we thought. Hopefully we get to the same one.
FEMA camp is going to be lit. All our friends are going to be there.
Right?
This even covers it says it lists specifically desktop applications, mobile applications, gaming applications, payment applications, or web-based applications.
So anything like your crypto exchanges and all that stuff could be could fall into that easily.
Yep.
Unless you use a crypto that uses Z-Snark.
Right.
Such as Pirate Chain.
It also lists in the next section down.
I listed the pirate.black website in the notes also.
Sweet.
Yeah, the next section down mentions information communications technology products and services integral to artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum key distribution, quantum communications, quantum computing, post-quantum cryptography, autonomous systems, advanced robotics, biotechnology, synthetic biology, computational biology, and e-commerce technology, including any electronic techniques for accomplishing business transactions, online retail, internet-enabled logistics, internet-enabled payment technology, and online marketplaces.
Wow.
This kind of falls into one of the leads into one of the articles that we've got about CBDCs.
Oh, yes. CBDCs. Yes. The central bank digital coins, which are being released here in a couple months by the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, and it's just suspiciously that everybody is being ushered into them.
Yeah, don't forget that just like 6 months ago, there were articles and articles and articles about how CBDCs were bad, how it would lead to an end of cryptocurrency, how terrible it was, and then now all the Federal Reserve is like, "Oh, watch this cool trick."
Yeah,
Good one, Dave. That's hilarious.
And we know how trustworthy the Federal Reserve is.
Except they can't stop cryptocurrency.
Not that
Can't stop the signal.
How many times have they tried to ban it in China? That hasn't worked out so well for them.
Yeah, cryptocurrency is another a variation, so to speak, of the 3D printed firearms. You can't stop the signal. It's out there. What are you going to do to stop it? You can't.
Yeah.
Pardon the glare. I took my hat off for a second. Pardon the glare.
What? I couldn't hear you.
Pardon
over the glare. I can't hear you over the glare.
Exactly. Blinds the camera and everybody watching. All like 6 of them.
10.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate though, because I've seen that
she's here.
Yeah, well, I've seen that counter go to 0, and there's still a bunch of people commenting in the chat, so I'm pretty sure that it's not necessarily accurate.
Right.
So
everybody's using Ghost.
You gonna bounce?
Yes, I have to bounce. I'm sorry.
All right. Bro, give us your links again, and why people should visit your Facebook page and listen to your podcast.
Wait, why should they?
Yes, why should they?
Because we're Anarchist Beauties. That's why.
Good answer. Good answer.
No, because what makes us beautiful is not necessarily how we look. It's the philosophy of anarchism. Anarchism in itself is beautiful, and it should be celebrated.
Yeah. Now throw out your links one more time.
theanarchistbeauties.com. Don't go to that yet. That's not ready. Go to Facebook, find us on there at Anarchist Beauties. You can find us on Twitter at Anarchist Beauty or Anarchist BEAUT 1, and you can also find us on YouTube.
The number 1.
Yes, you can also find us on YouTube and Odyssey at theanarchistbeauties.com or The Anarchist Beauties. If I could talk, holy crap. And you could also send us an email. We can be reached at Gmail with theanarchistbeauties@gmail.com.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast, like always.
Always.
Thanks for coming and putting up with us.
Well, it's still fun.
Well,
you're saying always based on 2 times. I mean,
we'll
these
do
could
it
be
again.
flukes.
We'll do it again.
If we do some more crossovers, maybe we'll get like more than 10 viewers. So,
she might. You know what's going to happen, right? Is the podcast is going to blow up, just like her Facebook page, and then she's going to platform us at some point in time and give us a boost.
Well, yeah, by just mentioning us, we're obviously not going to be on there because there's nothing beautiful going on here. That's
Jason's honorary.
Gorgeous.
Jason's honorary.
I'm honorary.
Yeah, there's Jason. Okay, there's Jason.
No, he's
The
on
rest of us-
Ray. On Ray.
On Ray. Ah, yes.
I'm the affirmative
French.
action hire.
Yeah, he's the diversity hire.
I'm the
Hey,
D-
not everybody can have a relative that successfully assassinated a president. All right.
Shh. All right. Thanks, kiddo. Love you.
Thank you. Love you guys. See you
Good
later.
to meet you.
Bye.
Good to meet you. Bye.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
And
now
now
Oh,
back
wow,
to
I just
your-
saw our viewers just like tank.
Just
now, back to your regularly scheduled autism.
Scott asked.
Where's the patch? You got to put it back to 0.
Scott asked, "What would the opposite of beauties be?" Us.
Us.
us. Yeah.
Us.
The weaponized autism that is our podcast.
So
shit.
I have 2 articles, and that was it. I didn't have a whole lot of articles. I mean, I have more articles, but you guys know.
I mean, we can just bullshit for ages, so I don't think we're worried about.
No, we
Filling
have a very important article that we have to talk about. We have to talk about Afroman.
Yes.
I was
going to
talk about Afroman, but then I got high.
But then I got high.
Do you want some lemon pound cake? Please tell me, have any of you actually gone and seen the music videos that he's put out about this whole thing?
Yes, they're fantastic.
They're absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, I saw it a few weeks ago when
He's
it
got
actually
3 of
happened,
them
and he
now.
released it.
Yeah.
He's got 3 of them.
I was gonna,
But then I got
but
high.
then he got
but then I
high.
got high.
You should sit down with some lemon pound cake. So
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
All 3 of them are very catchy.
wasn't
Amber
on
and
time for the podcast. Because
Amber and I were on our way home the other night, and I put them on. I was like, "You got to hear these," and she was humming them for like 3 days.
yes. Yeah. So singer and rapper Afroman is being sued by several members of the Adams County Sheriff's Office in Ohio after he made music videos using footage from a raid on his home last year. 7
That is a fucking king move.
this whoever wrote this article for The Hill, it just they are 1,000% on his side.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So 7 members of the Ohio Sheriff's Office filed suit against Joseph Foreman, better known as Afroman, earlier this month for using their likeness in the videos and social media posts without their consent and causing them, quote, embarrassment, ridicule, emotional distress, humiliation, and loss of reputation.
See this? It's the world's smallest violin. Let me play you a duet.
I need top hats. Did somebody feel embarrassed?
The dispute began last August when Adams County Sheriff's Office conducted an armed raid of Foreman's home on suspicion of drug trafficking and kidnapping. However, the raid reportedly failed to turn up any prohibitive criminal evidence.
Yet they still stole $400 cash.
4,000.
Or 4,000. He got 400 back. That's right.
Yeah. Foreman created 2 music videos.
Plus the one dude stole his mom's homemade lemon pound cake.
Yes, the Foreman created 2 music videos, Lemon Pound Cake, and Will You Help Me Repair My Door, using surveillance footage and videos taken by his wife of the raid.
And
He
there's
also
a third
posted
one.
images and videos of the officers on various social media platforms.
I mean, I understand stealing the $4,000. Okay, I get it. It's $4,000. All right.
Shaw said he had no drugs to sell. Because
he
he
got
got
high. Yeah. No, I understand stealing the $4,000. All right. Like I get that. That's just par for the course for cops. But you take a motherfucker's mama's pound cake? The fuck is wrong with you?
The fourth video that he has out there is why you disconnecting my video camera.
I mean, right, but like the lemon poppy seed. No, that is sacrosanct. You, sir, deserve to burn in hell for all eternity. No, you do not steal a man's mama's lemon poppy seed pound cake.
Yes,
the lawsuit watch the video. It's fantastic.
The lawsuit argues that the officers' personas were used, quote, for a commercial purpose to promote his Afroman brand, to sell products, to promote his music tours, and to make money from the use of plaintiff's images and videos and other social media.
Guess what? You're fucking cops.
And claims the officers are entitled to the profits that Foreman made off their likeness.
You're fucking cops. You don't get that.
Yeah. You are under no reasonable.
In his fucking house.
First of all,
weren't they trying to claim that they had an expectation of privacy in his house?
Yeah, in his house. You have no expectation.
Like,
no, see, and that's the thing is you have, and it is a well-established set of jurisprudences. Prudences. I don't know. Whatever. But more than one jurisprudence is established that says that police have no reasonable expectation of privacy while engaged in their duties, number one. Number two, they have no reasonable expectation of privacy when in public. And number three, you are in another person's home, therefore, you should not have any reasonable expectation of privacy.
Yes.
Yep, and he clearly, because he owns the video system, he owns any footage captured on that video system.
Yeah,
and he is able to do with that footage as he sees fit.
Yeah, and in addition, like there's no right to privacy in public.
No. And even though they weren't in public, they were still on private property.
They were before they came on his private property.
Yep, they were before they came on his property.
And the other thing is like Andrew said, they are also performing duties as official, actors of the state. So there is no reasonable expectation of privacy while in the commission of their duties.
And any footage of them in commission of their duties is considered public domain.
That's correct.
And Supreme Court has ruled that you have a right to record, right?
Yes, you do. To record and distribute.
Yes.
Record and distribute that footage.
Yep. The distribute part is important because there was somebody who got arrested for Facebook living a traffic stop because it was considered a security risk to the officer. And that turned out to be not the case according to the Supreme Court, where they said, sorry, you're in the commission of your duties. You can expect to be videotaped.
Yeah, Foreman vowed to countersue for, quote, for the unlawful raid, money being stolen, and for the undeniable damage to his family, career, and property. So,
Dave pointed out, he said, "Yeah, homie, that's legal. If you are off duty and about, maybe, but you're on official uniform capacity on their property." Dog, you're going to be in a video royalty free.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, no, you don't get.
I love how much he has monetized the shit out of this.
I know, and he's just like, you guys.
As of right now, Will You Help Me Repair My Door has 4.4 million views on YouTube. Lemon Pound Cake has 923,000. And Why You Disconnecting My Video Camera has 387,000 views.
I really, you know what I want is I now want a t-shirt that says "Give Afroman back his mama's lemon pound cake." With like an image of a lemon pound cake on it, and I will just wear that around.
Yes, absolutely.
A lemon pound cake with an afro patch.
That would be with an afro on it. Yeah, that would be
an afro on it. Yeah.
And like a joint sticking out of it.
There you go.
Freaking great.
I wonder what the value of the pound cake would be in the lawsuit, Schaller says.
You cannot, it's priceless. You cannot put value on lemon pound cake, man.
Especially if
not on Mama's lemon pound cake.
Because I guarantee you that shit was made from scratch without a recipe. It never
and with
turns
love.
out the same twice.
With love. And you cannot put a price on love.
Yep.
So it's priceless.
But they searched his home on suspicion of drug trafficking and kidnapping, but found no evidence and filed no charges against him. He says they kicked down his door, broke his video surveillance system, stole money for him, and frightened his family.
Ooh, actually, it just occurred to me, because Dave mentioned return the cake. No. Yeah. Free the cake.
Free the cake?
Free the cake.
Oh, are you kidding me? That cake has already been flushed down the toilet out the asshole
it's
of
been
Officer
freed.
Pork Chop.
Yeah. Somewhere there's a cop who goes when he breathes, who inhaled that fucking thing.
Now you really need to go watch the video, because that's exactly the vibe you're going to get from the cop.
Yeah, so Bo mentions the only pound cake I've had was an MRE accessory. Yes, and I was initially, when it's like, what's the value? I was going to be like, oh, like 2 mains from an MRE, but
7 jalapeno cheese.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that shit was gold.
Close.
That shit was gold on deployment. Like you got one of those.
Ooh, all right, I got.
No, the lemon poppy seed pound cake.
Lemon poppy seed pound cake.
Gold.
The new one, the chocolate pound cake one.
Ooh,
it's
chocolate
fantastic.
I have not had that one.
It's fantastic.
I need to find this one now.
Yes,
I'm not.
Yeah, that's.
Yes, but 4 deputies, 2 sergeants, and 1 detective. That's the 7 officers. Yes. And a complaint
as part of the lawsuit, as part of his compensation for the lawsuit, he should demand that he get the entire list of ingredients his mama used to make that cake, so she can make him another one.
Hold on. And a complaint filed in Ohio court last week. They say it's been more difficult and dangerous to carry out their duties, quote, because of comments made and attitudes expressed toward them by members of the public who had seen the video.
Good.
It's so much more dangerous.
Good. You deserve it.
We
deserve
might feel
every
bad.
Fucking bit of that.
Every bit.
If
they have received death threats and suffered, quote, humiliation, ridicule, mental distress, embarrassment, and loss of reputation.
If being embarrassed is enough to make you feel legitimately threatened, there is no way anyone should ever trust you to carry a gun in the defense of anything at all. Because you are a weakling and a coward, and you deserve the ridicule you will receive.
Every last one of them is a fucking coward.
Afroman said his immediate reaction to the lawsuit was, quote, a drop of anger, disbelief, and a little anxiety, followed by tons of laughter. Quote, I was thinking these big bad cops are being beat up and bullied by those little corny rap songs I made about them. I'm oh my God, are you letting me know that my raps are working on you?
Not only that, you know what's just occurred to me? He needs to let this go to trial, and then he needs to bring in his own video crew and then record it and make more music videos of them crying on the stand about how embarrassed and ridiculed they feel. Like, and just make a song that's like a remix, like audio remix of them, their testimonies on the stand. Like, just that.
Yes.
Let's see.
Because he got high after they left, Shell says in the chat.
Let's see. A copy of the warrant obtained by Cincinnati Fox affiliate alleges that there were drugs, drug paraphernalia, money, weapons associated with drug trafficking and kidnapping. Afroman told NPR that he had no idea where the kidnapping accusation come from, and he had nothing more in his house than the ends of a few blunts and unused pipes made for him by fans. In a Wednesday post, he accused a, quote, racist judge of signing a fictitious false warrant.
Have you seen pictures of what the judge looks like?
Yes.
He looks like he belongs with a hood on.
I agree with that completely, yes. Afroman was out of town on the day of the raid, but his ex-wife and kids, then 10 and 12, lived nearby and came over when they saw police present. She recorded parts of the raid on her phone, while other scenes were captured by security video cameras around the house. No charges came from the search, but that wasn't the end of the story. Afroman said he had to repair his door, an external gate, and his security wiring system, which cost him nearly $20,000.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be suing them. Holy shit.
He also accuses police of stealing from him. The officers has confiscated more than $5,000 in cash during the raid, which Afroman says were earnings from performances. It was eventually returned to him, but with $400 missing. Just last month, an investigation concluded that deputies had, quote, miscounted the original amount. A claim that Afroman continues to dispute.
Miscounted, which means that you were fully intending on just keeping that shit.
Yep.
So you didn't worry about how much was actually there, which means the chances are probably pretty good that somebody just pocketed $400 of his fucking money.
Hold on. Okay. I'm trying to keep a straight face. Hold on.
Dude, there's no way to keep a straight face with this.
Okay.
It's just too goddamn funny.
Professional.
She's
Afroman,
gone. It's okay.
Afroman released an album called Lemon Pound Cake just last month. 2 of its songs reference the raid and include home footage in their music videos. One of the songs is the title track, inspired by a moment during the raid when an officer walked into the kitchen with his gun drawn, broke his focus to look down at the cake dish on the counter. It tells the story to the tune of the Drifters Under the Boardwalk. Quote, Mama's lemon pound cake, it tastes so nice. It made the sheriff want to put down his gun and cut him a slice. Afroman sings at one point before comparing the officer to Family Guy's Peter Griffin. Afroman's online merchandise store peddles sweatshirts and t-shirts showing Griffin and a large lemon pound cake, surrounded by black and white images of the officer from the video with the name Afroman and, quote, Officer Pound Cake.
I need one of those. If somebody would like to send me one, I wear a 2X, i.e. size fat fuck. And I want one so bad. So bad.
Oh, man.
Oh, yes. That's...
Yeah, so here's another quick insight, though, from Dave in the chat. He said we had to count inmates' money on camera, write it down, then get another officer to count the money and write it down. Both numbers had to be seen by the sergeant and match before the money could be bagged, sealed, signed, and given to booking to be placed on the books, which means there is no way they miscounted it.
Yep, which means somebody pocketed 4 bills and walked off.
Yep, $400. And his mama's pound cake. I ain't worried about the money, and I don't think he's all that worried about the money. It's about the pound cake. Oh, Jesus, look at that fat fuck.
Porky pig. My God.
You don't even need to run away from that cop. You can just walk briskly. Like,
you don't even need to walk briskly.
What's funny is he looks down at the cake, looks up at the camera, like dead shot at the camera, down at the cake again, up at the camera, down at the cake again. Like, can I get away with this?
Can I get away with eating this cake? Oh. You monster! You ate like a man's mama's pound cake
3 or 4 times.
Yep, he makes direct eye contact several times, and he's like, but I really want some. Think of it like a dog, and you're holding food up, and it's like looking at the food, looking at you, looking at the food, look at you, and it's just, it can't make up its mind if it should like lunge at you to get it, or that's exactly the look on this cop's face.
He says it's only led to more exposure and opportunities. Afroman said he's getting calls from people he hasn't heard from in years, or at least since a few months ago when the raid happened. Quote, these guys are once again making me a bigger star. I don't want to pay these guys nothing, but worst case scenario, if I had to pay them off the publicity and fame they gave me, it might just be fair to shuffle them a few coins.
He's just like, yeah, bro, I'll throw you a few. Like,
after Officer Porky stole the pound cake because he got
a contact. Officer Porky stole the pound cake because he got a contact high. He didn't even need a contact high. You see that, motherfucker?
Pound cake is pound cake, bro. I'm just saying.
Also, yes. I mean, I won't begrudge a motherfucker for being like, but there's pound cake.
But there's pound
Like,
cake, yeah.
I get it. I mean, I'm not saying it was right. I get
Especially
it.
if
it
it's
wasn't
mama's
right.
homemade pound cake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get it. But
Mhm.
that's not okay. You don't touch another man's pound cake. That ain't okay.
Yeah.
You don't do
Especially
that.
His mama's pound cake? Come on.
Yeah. No, you don't do that. I mean, I get why you
I
would
just
want
imagine
to.
that cop is like Cartman when he's the cop, and he's like, "Oh, mom, let me get some pound cake. Let me get some pound cake."
Down on the floor, perpetrators. Is that pound
Is
cake?
that pound cake?
In one of those, in one of the videos, it's the "Would you help me repair my door?" He talks about, did you have to traumatize my kids?
Mm-hmm.
As one of the verses, and that's the entire verse. Is he just repeats that? Did you have to traumatize my kids?
Yeah.
And it shows them bashing his front door down.
Yeah, I mean, think about how children. I mean, that's the thing with no-knock raids, right? And why so many people oppose them on even on both sides of the aisle. Anarchists oppose them, libertarians oppose them, even like fucking socialists oppose them. Like almost anybody with even a single firing brain cell understands that no-knock raids are bad and are wrong and are contrary to the Bill of Rights.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Except the people who are in law enforcement.
I will admit that I can at least in my mind I can see a justification for no knock raids on occasion, right? Dangerous criminals. I mean, dangerous.
If you have, I was going to say, if you have
I
absolute proof that they are absolutely a danger.
Yeah, I understand that. I can at least. I don't want to say justify it because that's not the right word. But
sympathize with the idea.
I can understand the justification for it. But no knock raids for cannabis is insane. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous, and I mean, the whole reason why, like, I mean, that's the thing is like, but how many times do no knock raids get done against legitimate, actually dangerous to others, not
virtually
to the state,
never
criminals? Virtually never.
No,
so
the whole premise and like justification by no knock raids by law enforcement is strictly for drugs. It's like, oh, they're gonna flush the drugs if they hear us coming.
Yeah, it's about containing evidence. It's not
justification.
Yeah, turn the water off.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, look, if
the water up, there's a sewer shut off. You can shut the sewer off. So if they flush it get stuck.
I mean, you know, and that's
if
the thing is, like,
about it,
if there are truly exigent circumstances, right, where you actually have a reason to believe, a current reason to believe that the life of a person may be in danger if you do not come into this place all at once.
Maybe that's why the kidnapping thing was
right. That's why they threw
right.
I can almost guarantee it. But so if you really have that belief, right, that's the thing, it's not going to be a no-knock raid anyway, because there's no way for you to legitimately have that belief without doing a whole bunch of surveillance, without, monitoring it, or without there being like an active crime in progress occurring.
Yeah.
In that instance, right? Like if there are two cops standing outside a door and they hear a man threatening to kill a woman on the other side of the door, kick in the fucking door and do something about it. I'm fine with that, right? I'm not going to complain about that. I fully support
Although
that.
they don't have a obligation to,
they don't, and they probably won't.
Yeah.
No,
but
that would be a situation where
we'll stop you from going in there too.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, like in that situation, I can understand where you'd be like, well, I couldn't knock because if I knock, he might just kill her. Right.
Yeah,
I need to just get in there and I need to do something. Okay, fine. But we're not talking about those situations, are we? We're not talking about where there's active existing exigent circumstances, right? We're talking about situations where they are generally just going, well, they're going to flush drugs if we knock. So we have to go in all at once.
Yeah, i.e. Breonna Taylor, Duncan Limp.
They're going to destroy evidence because that's the vast majority, vast. In fact, it's something like, I think I read like it's something like 97% of all no-knock raids annually are done, are authorized for the purposes of preventing the destruction of evidence. They're not to preserve life and limb.
40,000 no-knock raids a year or something like that.
Yeah, and like 97% of them are just to keep them from flushing the drugs or destroying the evidence. They have nothing to do with actually protecting anybody. And look at how much bad they do and zero good. Like,
and
it's
that was
just
an
not
exponential hike from like the 90s. Like no-knock raids were almost not a thing in like the early, in the 80s and early 90s, and then all of a sudden just went and just crept the fuck up like crazy.
And how many people's lives could be saved by you simply knocking on the door and going, "Hey, we're the police. We're here for a raid. I need you to open the door and then come out with your hands on the back of your head." Okay. And then you do it and they go, "Oops, wrong address." Or they go, "Oops, I guess there wasn't anything here. Never mind."
Or they do good fucking police work. They sit to do a fucking stakeout. They wait until they leave, follow them to a place that's open, and fucking pull them over for a traffic stop and do your thing there.
Which is what they should have done
away from the house.
I was just, Jason, I was just going to say that. Yeah, exactly. Waco. They had hundreds of opportunities at Waco to take David Koresh in a safe, intelligent manner, doing good police work, and they chose not to.
And the same in fucking Ruby Ridge.
I wouldn't even say that they necessarily chose.
They did stop him on the side of the road. They did stop Randy Weaver on the side of the road.
Yeah,
you know. So I don't want to talk about CBDs or CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. I want to talk about this one at Idaho. Drug sniffing dog put paws on a man's car.
I read about this. Is
Idaho Supreme Court says he trespassed.
I love this.
Yeah. So
this is glorious.
Idaho Supreme Court has vacated a Mountain Home man's conviction for felony drug possession and delivery after it ruled that a police drug sniffing dog trespassed and conducted an illegal search by putting his paws on the vehicle, prompting the search that led to his arrest. Let's see. The court issued the decision Monday with 3 of the 5 judges in agreement and 2 dissenting. The case centered on a 2019 arrest of Kirby Dorff. According to the court documents, the officer said Dorff was stopped by a patrol officer in Mountain Home after Dorff drove across lanes of traffic without using a signal. A second officer arrived with a police canine named Nero, who was trained to detect illicit drugs. While Dorff explained to the first officer that he didn't have a valid driver's license or proof of insurance on the vehicle, Nero began sniffing around the car. Police body camera footage showed the dog jump up against the car multiple times, including once where his paws rested on the driver's side door and window as he sniffed the, quote, upper seams of the car. Police searched Dorff's vehicle based on the dogs alerting them to the presence of drugs, the handler said. The officers found a pill bottle, folded papers, and a baggie that contained a white substance that testing later confirmed as meth. According to the court documents, the vehicle's passenger told police Dorff had shown them a baggie of meth at the motel room they were sharing. Court filings say that when police searched the room, they found 19 grams of meth and additional drug paraphernalia.
I mean, meth is bad. Don't get me wrong.
Meth is bad. Don't do
meth. Is terrible.
Don't do meth.
Yes. Dorff was charged with felony delivery and possession of a controlled substance and misdemeanor drug paraphernalia possession. Charges, he argued, stemmed from Nero trespassing on his vehicle. Dorff's attorney submitted a motion to suppress and exclude the evidence from the case, which Ada County District Judge rejected. Dorff pleaded guilty on the condition that he could appeal the denial on his motion to suppress evidence. In June 2020, he appealed to the Idaho Supreme Court.
It didn't go the way the cops thought it would.
Yes.
No, it did not.
Justice Robin Brody, in the majority opinion, wrote that justices weighed whether the dog's intrusion on the exterior of Dorff's vehicle constituted trespassing, as it would have if the dog entered the interior of the vehicle. Ultimately, Brody wrote she and Justices John Stinger and Colleen Zahn agreed that the exterior of the vehicle is protected by the Fourth Amendment, which protects against unlawful searches. They said the drug
Still your
sniffing
property.
dog intermeddled with Dwarf's personal effects by jumping up on the car.
Yep, because there was
it's
no evidence.
different- It's no different than somebody being charged with trespass for climbing up the outside of your house.
Yep,
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Quote, intermeddling is the difference between someone who brushed up against your purse while walking by and someone who, without permission or consent, rests their hand on your purse and puts their fingers into your purse before your eyes or behind your back.
Yeah, that's the dog interfered with his property.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is just a
Which is
trip to read.
trespassing.
Yes. According to the majority opinion, it doesn't matter that the unlawful search included the exterior of Dorf's property or was performed by a drug sniffing dog. Quote, there's no asterisk to the Fourth Amendment there's no asterisk to the Fourth Amendment excusing the unconstitutional acts of law enforcement when they are accomplished by means of a trained dog. That's according to Brody.
The dog is considered an officer, so
yes.
Yep.
If you shoot a police dog, it's considered
a strike a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So therefore, they are held to the same standard as a human.
You mean virtually no standards in most cases?
Well, virtually no standards in most cases, yes. But it's the same thing. Like what they're essentially saying is it's the same thing as if a cop walked up to your car and then sat on the hood.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Not much difference there. The justices vacated Dorf's conviction and reversed the Ada County judge's denial of his motion to suppress evidence. Now the case returns to a district court to proceed with the motion to suppress in place. Two justices, Greg Mueller and Chief Justice Richard Bevin, wrote dissenting opinions. Mueller disagreed with the idea that Nero placing his paws on Dorf's vehicle constitutes an illegal search. Mueller said the majority's decision returns to the court to, quote, murky and uncertain legal waters.
Well, now there's jurisprudence that says somewhere in the country, the dog doing that violates, his personal property.
Yes.
So the reason that's going to make it very interesting as more people start, referencing that case.
Yep, because now the canine officers are going to have to keep the dogs off of the cars.
Yes, which they should be trying to in the first place.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? If I had a police dog put their fucking claws on the paint job of my car.
Yeah.
If a police dog tried to do that to my truck, they just go through the paint, through the rusty paint anyway. So.
If a police dog tried to do that to my car, do you know the news story that you would be watching?
Brandenburg
following that.
Oh. Because I saw red. Because I saw red.
Yeah, like, oh, is this an officer? This is an officer? Good. Like,
Bevins, in a separate opinion, reiterated his view from an earlier case that a drug-sniffing dog's canine instincts aren't the same as intentional police intrusion. For justices to equate a drug-sniffing dog, quote, instinctively jumping on the exterior of a car to a government agent placing a tracking device on a vehicle, quote, stretches logic beyond the breaking point of reasonableness.
Shaller. Cat Drew, you're so full of it, you'd end up keeping the dog.
No, I wouldn't. I've encountered police dogs. I know how those fuckers are. I believe that rabid dogs should be put down immediately and without mercy.
Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969.
He said rabid. He said rabid.
Rabid dogs.
He did not say police dogs. He said rabid dogs.
Rabid dogs.
So, all right. I just had to bring that up because I didn't want to talk about.
I believe members of the sus gang should be put down rapidly without mercy too. But
I am sus. We're all sus.
I've been told I'm sus recently, multiple times. Shit, fucking Chris brought up that I used to be a fat, or no, that was Josh brought up I was a fat.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you.
That was
okay,
Chris.
That was me.
Yeah, all right. Come on, man.
Andrew, that's the pot calling the kettle black.
Well, it is. Yeah, you were a fed too. Bite me. Like,
But I was never an agency person. All right.
I don't think that makes a difference. If you work for the federal government, you work for the federal fucking government.
You're all feds.
It doesn't matter who you work for.
According to social media, we're
you
all
both
feds
were
anyway.
agents of the state equally. Well, not equally, but both
I
agents
was
of
gonna
the
say
state.
not equally. Sure as fuck ain't equally.
God, Dave just sent me another picture.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he said we couldn't end it until he sent us a sketch. So,
Oh Lord.
Return the cake. Dude, put a pick in it. Put a pick in the top right there, and yes.
We ain't found. Oh.
Bo, that's because they intentionally tell the dogs to hit on your vehicle?
yeah, most of the time,
Nevada, it was proven in Nevada that Nevada Highway Patrol trains their dogs to hit regardless.
Yes.
well, over and over again, it's been demonstrated that in court, that drug dogs don't hit because they actually hit. They hit because their handlers expect them to hit.
Yep. And they get a treat.
They want the treat.
Yep.
So,
They get praise and treat. That's how they respond.
all right, I don't have anything else, you guys.
They will always hit.
I don't have anything else.
You're all aware of the debacle with Forrest Mommy getting doxxed on Twitter. I know.
That saga.
That did not turn out the way he wanted it to.
No,
it's also resulting
fantastic.
in a lawsuit from Cerebral, the guy that was in the video with Forrest Mommy. Yep. He was also doxxed, and he never got an apology. It never got removed. So they are looking into a lawsuit, cease and desist letter, all that fun stuff too. For those that do watch and listen to us that aren't on Twitter, Forrest Mommy is here in Colorado with me. She's actually running for council for Avada, and a Denver Local 9 reporter doxed her, releasing all of her personal information, address, which was Mr. Forrest Mommy's, not hers, phone number, email address, all that fun stuff. And yeah, it kind of backfired because she ended up getting all sorts of national recognition from other Twitter people.
Well, and the LP said that they were going to start supporting her run for city council and all this other stuff.
You had the Hodge twins that shared her story out there.
Yep.
Fucking
he actually ended up deleting the original tweet completely, but the internet never forgets.
And then a half-assed apology, which tried to make him into the victim.
Yeah, half-assed apology that was like, but she mentioned my dad's death.
Which her producer came out and posted the video like a minute before and a minute after, including that clip, and they nowhere in there mentioned his name or his dad. The Cerebral guy, the guy that was on the video with her, was saying it in a hypothetical fashion for his own personal opinion.
Yep. Yeah, she didn't even say it. Yeah. So
that was crazy, and it's still ongoing. He's still, I guess, he texts her. He has he has sock accounts that he's like stalking her on and shit, and he's still saying shit.
Of course,
it's hilarious.
He's a journalist. He's a journalist. He's unscrupulous.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, which is why I posted I broke out my good old reliable, the Captain America. I want you to do your part. Cyberbully journalists at every available opportunity.
Cyberbully journalists, cyberbully politicians.
If anybody's interested in that, she's starting to raise her money for her campaign and stuff like that. She's pretty based, even though she is LP. We don't hold that against her.
She's running until after she's done running before we try to bring her on.
She's running in Arvada, right?
Arvada City Council.
Arvada City Council, the city that the police department that killed
that's
Johnny Hurley.
and that was the big thing. Yeah, that was the big thing.
And that's her platform. That's her big platform is on police reform. She also got in touch because she's in the same county as Wicked Witch of the West on TikTok that's having the big fight with Jefferson County over her land. So they got linked up. They're going to be talking. I know we were trying to get her on
She do it because we have an anarchist podcast.
Yeah, what she told me when I talked to her was, I'm already being mislabeled as a far right-wing extremist, and so being on your show is probably not going to help that.
No, that's why I said we'll wait until after the campaign's over.
Yeah, because she's gonna talk to Carrie Ann over at the LP in Colorado.
Karen Ann Harlow.
She's very interested in the Libertarian Party in Colorado now. So she's drifting that direction. So maybe she will come back around and we'll be able to have her on the show as well.
It would be nice.
All right, on that, cool. Throw out some links. Let's get out of here before the 2 hours is up.
I'm apparently supposed to tell everyone that the 25-year-old big boob blonde says hi. Sasha was like, make sure that you tell everybody I say hi. So I'm
Sasha.
telling everyone. Yeah. Okay.
Hits or it didn't happen. I mean,
fuck, you know, my kids are 23, right? Just saying.
What's your point?
I'm fucking old. I'm old. You're making
if you like coffee,
you're making me feel even older.
Yeah, if you like coffee, you like tea, you like cocoa, check out the link in the description down below, and you help support the channel, you help support me, and maybe one of these days we'll actually be able to stream not just on this accursed platform called YouTube, but also on Rumble at the same time. That's all I got. Go for it, Andrew.
Okay, so buy Derica's book, Think for Yourself, a thinking workbook for beginners. I was going to ask Luna if she was using that when she mentioned workbooks, but no. Yeah, so Think for Yourself, Thinking Workbook for Beginners. It's available on Amazon. It's like $10. You owe it to yourself to use it. Use it with your kids. It's super awesome, super valuable. It's about critical thinking, and you should learn how to critical think.
You should use the book before you leave use the book before you leave a review.
Yeah, please, for the love of God, use the book before you leave a review. There are a lot of reviews that people clearly didn't use the book. Also, if you want to care for your beard like I do, like a Viking, you're going to go to thebeardstruggle.com, use code InkedAnarchist15 to get 15% off. They have all sorts of cool stuff. They have all sorts of cool new scents. They have all sorts of new additional kits that they're selling now that are super cool. They even have stuff for the ladies, not for their beards. You know that they're not dwarves. The important thing is that they have cool scents and they're awesome. I personally really prefer Odin's Virtue, which is one of their gold scents. It smells like apples and cinnamon and oud wood, and it's fantastic. Also, make sure that you check out RK Spookware. We're an affiliate. Use the affiliate link on our link tree and get stuff if you need what they sell. Also, check out Reaper Brand Apparel Company. They're super fantastic. They're an awesome company. They do great work. The guy who runs it, super awesome. He does a 10-day Broken Not Defeated challenge that you should definitely take if you're struggling in your life, and it's just super awesome, and I love it. Thanks, Shells. I do not need. I drink Monster, but anyway, that's what the XL cans of Monster are for.
He's gonna be going to town one of these days, and because he drinks Monster, all of a sudden he's gonna double over and paint. Kidney stones.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen. Plus, I have my midlife crisis car for that. Anyway,
midlife crisis car, midlife crisis girlfriend, midlife crisis. What else you got?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to do promos here, bro. So Reaper Brand Apparel, check them out. They're super awesome. Their designs are great, and we love them, and you should love them too. And you should check it out and use the Linktree link, and you get 15% off. If you don't want to use the Linktree link and just check them out, use Inked Anarchist 10, and you get 10% off. Check out Dave at Poppins Patches. He makes fantastic quality patches. They're super nice. They're super durable, even though he made a patch of the worst single day of my life. Thanks, Josh, for showing everyone again.
Speaking of Dave, did you see the comment earlier in the chat where he put up the box and the eagle?
Yes, I did, and I ignored it intentionally. So... make sure you check him out. He's got really good patches. They're really high quality. They're awesome, and they're reasonably priced, and they will kick you in the nostalgia button pretty hard.
Check out windshield eagle patch.
Yeah, check out Lions Not Sheep. I'm also an affiliate of theirs. That link should also be in the link tree. If you use that link, you get to support me, you get a discount, and you get some cool stuff. I love Lions Not Sheep, especially their Free Man t-shirt. It is super awesome. It makes a simple statement. Free man. That's it. That's all you need to say. Super great. Check them out. You'll love them. I'm pretty sure that's everybody. I could be wrong. I might have missed somebody.
Check out what Crystal or what Luna's doing with Anarchist Beauties. I think it is needed in our circles, and I am really, really looking forward to what they're building. I've seen that. I've been on the inside of that a little bit, and I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yep. I think I'm going to start pushing my my oldest over that direction. So.
Yeah. All right. You guys got anything else?
I got nothing.
Nope. Good. All right. We'll catch you on the next one.
I'm good.
Peace.
Peace.
See.